Prakhar,
Good evening, sir.
good evening.
Good evening, sir.
So, welcome to today's mock interview.
Thank you, sir.
Please introduce yourself briefly.
Sir, can I use mask while giving the mock? I think UPSC has made it mandatory to use mask this time.
Please go ahead, no problem.
Thank you, sir.
Please introduce yourself.
Sir, my name is Prakhar Kumar Singh. I hail from Rampur, Uttar Pradesh. I have done my schooling till class 12th from here only. Then I have done my graduation in electrical engineering from IIT Roorkee. I passed out in 2019. Sir, recently I have been selected as a deputy collector in Uttar Pradesh, although training is yet to start.
Okay, so what was your optional subject?
Sir, electrical engineering only.
Wonderful. So, you have stuck to the subject you studied. And
Yes, sir.
what are your hobbies?
Sir, I like to play badminton.
Badminton.
Yes, sir.
So, you must be very proud of PV Sindhu having won a bronze in
Sir,
the.
yes, sir.
Okay, who was her coach?
Sir, Park Tae from South Korea.
Very good. Okay, now tell us what makes a good leader?
Sir, a leader is someone who can inspire people. Leader is someone who is leader. Leader होता है. Leader is someone who can give direction to the persons who are working under him or with him. So these are he is someone who can communicate ideas to the people clearly. He has a vision and a mission towards whatever task he has at hand.
And people say that a leader should lead by example.
Sir.
What does that mean?
Sir, if a leader should lead by example means that if you are telling people to do certain thing, then you should also do the same thing in your own conduct. You should lead by example by doing the same thing, so that people also understand that he is not only preaching but he is also following the same thing in his own life.
Let us assume you make it to the income tax. Okay. And you are the assistant commissioner, income tax.
Sir.
So, what is the first step you will do to demonstrate to your subordinates that you are a good leader?
Sir, first of all, when we enter any new office, we need to delegate the tasks clearly. So I will delegate the tasks clearly that what are the roles and responsibility each and everyone has. I will personally come to the office at time, whatever time the office is at 9, etc., so that others also start coming to office at time. I will lead by example here. Secondly, I will also employ a file tracking system in my office, so that every file which is coming is cleared in time, so others also follow the same thing. So this is one example how I will lead by example in my office.
Okay, so the only example you will set is by coming on time.
No, sir, this is one example. Second is by doing whatever task is at hand very efficiently, so that others can also see that our officer is completing the task on time.
Okay, I'll tell you more about it when we come to the feedback. Now,
Sure.
tell me, have you heard of the term cyber terrorism?
Yes, sir.
What does it mean?
So cyber terrorism means that terrorists are now employing various cyber techniques such as malware, spyware, etc. in order to attack any installation. For instance, in Florida recently, they had in a public system they had installed a particular malware due to which the functioning of the system stopped, and then they demanded ransom for clearing the system. So this is one instance how cyber terrorism is working. So in various other installations, for instance, critical installations, power sector, nuclear energy of a particular country, they are also at risk, which can be the potential targets of a cyber terrorist.
Has there been any cyber terrorist attack in India?
Sir, recently there were, although government did not come out openly about it, but there were reports that in the Mumbai shutdown of the electricity grid, the regional shutdown, there was a cyber attack from Chinese hacker group.
Okay. And any important cyber terror attack across the globe on any other country?
Sorry, sir, I am not able to recall right now.
It doesn't matter. Rajiv ji?
Prakhar.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Yeah, Prakhar, tell me, what are the changes to the OCI, Overseas Citizen of India card? There have been certain changes that have been made. Are you aware of it? First of all, what is the Overseas Citizens of India card? What does it mean?
Sir, overseas citizen, with the help of a overseas citizen of India card, a person who is residing in a foreign country, they can visit any number of times in India without any foundation of stay. So this is one privilege that they have.
That's a very good understanding you've given. Now, can you tell me some changes have been made into the OCI cards? What are the changes that have been made?
Sorry, sir, I am not able to recall.
Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, now, but do you know which countries are excluded? Citizens of which countries are excluded from utilizing this card?
Sir, Pakistan is excluded. Bangladesh, I think, is also excluded.
Yes, you're right. Okay, now, earlier we had in the government, the expenditure was divided into plan and non-plan. That was how the expenditure of the government was patterned. Now, what is the form it has taken now? In what manner is the expenditure of government assessed now?
Sir, now we are dividing it into revenue expenditure, capital expenditure, these kind of heads, and we have also started dividing it on the basis of how outcomes are going to be implemented. So outcome-based expenditure is also a new thing.
Are you aware of any state which has introduced this in their budget?
Sir, outcome-based expenditure?
Yes.
Sorry, sir.
Anyway, not too important. I'll mention that at the end. Now, in the Companies Act, the Prakhar, it has been amended in several times. Of course, the original. Do you know when the original Companies Act was enacted?
Sir, 2013.
No, the original one. Okay, original.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, it was 1956. Anyway, so now it was in 2013. Certain changes were made to it. What were the changes that were introduced? 2013 Act has completely replaced the 1956 Act. What major changes were brought into the Act?
Sir, one corporate social responsibility was introduced in the 2013 Act, that companies need to provide 3% of the average net profit that they have. Then secondly, recently there have been certain changes that certain criminal there were certain
in the CSR it has been decriminalized. You're right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It has been decriminalized.
Yeah. Okay. As a deputy collector, what are the innovative, you've not joined so far, but what are the innovative methods you thought of introducing when you join? One joins a service with enthusiasm. So what are the changes you would like to introduce?
Sir, I would like my office to be more people oriented. That is, if they, especially in UP, as the population is very large, I've been talking to some of my seniors who are who have recently joined service, and they say that sometimes the number of applications are so huge that they are not able even to meet all the people. So I will ensure that in my office, 2-3 people, a separate desk is there who have the task of ensuring that all the applications are taken, all the grievances of the people are taken into account, and they resolve any of the things that people want. And if they are not able to do, I can come in and I can personally resolve those things. So a separate desk for people grievances will be there in my office. Secondly, I am also very enthusiastic about file tracking system, because files are not cleared in expedited manner. Then thirdly, sir, if for instance my mother is a teacher, and as a deputy collector or as a SDM, we are also in charge of education department in our tehsil. So I will ensure that teachers are going on time. I will ensure that there is a selfie based attendance system in my tehsil, so that the attendance of the students as well as teachers can be ensured in a transparent manner.
Prakhar, at the beginning of this, you mentioned that your mother is a teacher, a school teacher, and then you started off by saying that I will ensure that everybody goes on time. What are these two? How are these two issues linked?
Sir, my mother is a teacher, so I am very passionate about the education sector too. So I wanted to ensure that whatever is going in my tehsil, I will ensure that I take steps in this sector also.
Okay,
That
we
is the
have
reason.
yeah. Okay, we have recently seen vaccine hesitancy.
Yes, sir.
Vaccine, how would you tackle it as a deputy collector? How would you tackle this?
Yes, sir. So vaccine hesitancy happens most primarily because either there is a misinformation or people are not aware about the benefits. So firstly, I will ensure that if we are going to a certain village pradhan or gram panchayat members of that village can be first given vaccine, and that too in a public area, because that will ensure that people also know that this is something that is beneficial for us, and our leader is also taking it. Secondly, ashas can also be roped in order to increase awareness about the benefits of the vaccine, sir. These two are very, yes.
Prakhar, have you read about the OSD, the Open Skies Treaty? What does it seek to do?
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat?
Open
As I didn't hear.
Skies Treaty. Open Skies Treaty.
Yes, sir. I have read about it. Open Skies Treaty was between USA and Russia. They can, whenever they can go into the open sky of the other country, and they can notify that country that we are going to fly around this area in order to understand about the various installations that they are having. So it was a mutually understanding treaty, and uh, between both the countries.
Prakhar, recently Suez Canal was in the news. What is the status of Suez Canal? I mean, what is the geographical location of Suez Canal, and what is the other definition of Suez Canal?
So Suez Canal was opened in 1969 to reduce the distance between Europe and Asia primarily. It is located in Red Sea, and Port Said is on Suez Canal. And recently, a ship named Ever Given stuck in Suez Canal, due to which global trade was hampered.
Yeah, very good. You answered it very
This is
well. Okay, now something about your something more about the Indian scenario. do you think that the caste system that we had in India earlier is now slipping away and now giving way to a class system rather than a caste system? And what are the dimensions it has assumed, the caste system?
Yes, sir. I believe caste system is giving way to class system, but I think it is more of an urban phenomena because still in rural areas we see that we have various news reports where a person from a lower caste community is not allowed to ride a horse or take a marriage procession from certain communities. So still caste system is there in certain sections, but yes, caste system has given way to class in and it is changing its dimensions especially in urban areas as people are growing educated. The discrimination on the basis of caste is reducing as the society is also homogenizing a bit.
Prakhar, my last question. See, recently and just before in fact, for several years, we have noticed migration from the rural to the urban areas. Now, there was, during the COVID-19, a reverse migration was noticed, which created a lot of difficult moments for some of our people who wanted to go back to their villages, afraid that the COVID-19 would, cause devastation to their families. What are the causes of migration to the urban areas, and how to make a balance so that there is no, disproportionate migration to the urban areas? What should be done?
Yes, sir. So reason for urban migration are many. For instance, people are going to Punjab for seasonal migration, for sowing purpose, for rice and wheat, etc. Secondly, for instance, laborers from UP are going to Gujarat and Maharashtra looking for opportunities because there is very less industrialization in Uttar Pradesh. While Maharashtra and Gujarat are more industrialized, they are getting a better pay there. Various steps have been taken. For instance, in my own state, we are having now ODOP program, one district, one product program, where local artisans are being encouraged, local handicrafts are being encouraged, local MSMEs are being encouraged to come into this sector. So the way forward is that wherever those people are present, we need to give employment to them at that place only. Manrega was a very good initiative in this regard, and it was also very successful in the COVID pandemic in generating employment days. 29 crore employment days were generated with Manrega also. So I think we need to give more push to our MSME sector, such as government is giving by emergency credit guarantee line scheme, etc. So we need to help our MSME sector, handicraft sector, handloom sector, and local industries in that place. I think that will help curb migration in the long run.
My last question: how do we double? Government is claiming that they will double the income of the farmers. How do we go about doing it?
Sir, I think India is already the leading producer of many commodities such as milk, rice, wheat, but still we are not able, the farmer is not able to get remunerative prices. The reason is that the farmer is only giving the raw material to the government or to the selling to the directly to the person. We need to invest more in our food processing industries. For instance, if a farmer can actually convert its wheat into a biscuit, then he will be able to get more remunerative price for the same produce. So food processing industries one can be encouraged. Second, the recent farm bills, for instance, contract farming has been introduced by recent farm bills. Essential Commodity Act has roped in the cold storage infrastructure. So this will also help in help the farmer get better prices rather than getting exploited at the hands of the middlemen. So these are also some positive developments in that regard.
Yes, very good, Prakhar. You handled it very well. Over to you, Arvind Mohan Saab.
Thank you.
Arvind Mohan ji, unmute कीजिए, unmute कर लीजिए, unmute, yeah.
So, nice, Prakhar. Your interview is going very nicely. So, I must first congratulate you for sticking to electrical engineering as your subject.
Thank you, sir.
And when you did some research work, what was the topic of that research paper that you published?
Sir, it was, we were actually making a chip which works on synapses. That is, it was inspired by how our brain works, and we were trying to make a chip which can have a short-term memory to long-term memory type artificial synapse. So, for instance, sir, in our current scenario, we have a CPU and we have a memory. But CPU is very fast, but in order to process anything, we need to have a interconnection between memory and CPU, and that is very slow. That is called, sir, von Neumann bottleneck. While, sir, in our brain, memory as well as processing happens at the same time, at the same place. So we were making a chip where processing as well as memory or storage takes place at the same place, so that the speed increases.
So nice, very good project. Now we have been innovating in India, particularly in this payment systems. And the UPI is a very good example of the innovations that India has done. So could you tell me something about UPI?
Yes, sir. UPI is a Unified Payment Interface, and it has been developed by NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India. And with the help of a UPI ID, we can directly transfer using our mobile phones, directly transfer the payments from one account to another. It is different from a wallet in the sense that we need not first take out the money from the bank and deposit it in a wallet. It is directly bank to bank transfer. So it is fast.
But there are other modes of transfer also which are from bank to bank directly, like
Yes, sir.
NEFT, RTGS. So what is unique about UPI?
Sir, one is that it has a two-factor authentication. So it is secure, and
NEFT also has,
yes, sir.
RTGS also has.
Sir,
They also have two-factor authentication.
Sir, in RTGS, the minimum limit is 2 rupee, 2 lakh, but in UPI, the minimum
NEFT
limit
you
is
can do for 1 rupee also.
yes, sir.
So there is something which is setting UPI apart from this.
Sorry, sir, I am not able to.
It's very simple. You know it, but
answer
you are
the
not
question.
able to recollect. I'll tell you later. Okay. And now, how does it compare with the new initiative that government has taken, e-rupee?
Yes, sir. Sir, e-rupee has recently been launched. Sir, e-rupee is basically a system where there will be three players: a company or a government entity who wants to pay the person, a bank, and the beneficiary. So, in this system, the entity, for instance, a corporate company, if it wants to send a sum of money to a person, they will directly go to the bank and they will pay the money, and they will generate a SMS link or a QR code, and that SMS link or QR code will be given to the beneficiary. The benefit is that if they would have directly given the money to the person, it would not have ensured that that money is particularly used for the service that the entity wants that person to use. But in this system, that link or that message or that QR code will only be working as a voucher by the beneficiary. So it will improve the targeting of the beneficiary. It will also reduce the other kind of errors which may percolate in the system.
Nice. There is another initiative of the government in digital field, DigiLocker. It did not become very popular, I think. Do you know
Yes, sir.
something about it?
Yes, sir. DigiLocker initiative is an initiative where online certificates can be digitally verified, and that we can have a link of that certificate, and that can also work as the original certificate, and we need not carry the original documents as they are digitally verified by that particular entity.
Okay. Now you belong to Rampur.
Yes.
So tell me something about Rampur, the problems of Rampur, the potentials of Rampur.
Sir. Sir, some of the problems of Rampur would be, first is mobility, as Rampur was earlier ruled by Nawabs, so the old city is very congested in that sense. Second, female literacy is very low in Rampur, only around 42%. As far as sir potential is concerned, Rampur has two very famous places. One is Rampur Raza Library. It is one of the largest libraries in Asia. Second is, sir, we have Gandhi Samadhi, and it is the only second spot apart from Rajghat where relics of Gandhiji are kept. So Rampur, in that sense, has the potential of being a stopover tourist hub because it is strategically located. It is near to Nainital. People who want to go to hilly regions. It is exactly in between Delhi and Lucknow. So a stopover tourist hub can be, as a stopover tourist hub, it can be promoted. Secondly, sir, Zari Zardozi of Rampur is also very famous, and it is also now being promoted as a ODOP product. So that is also getting a good traction. Thirdly, sir, cuisine of Rampur is also very famous. So adrak ka halwa, chicken changezi, etc. So the people who live in nearby towns, they do flock to Rampur to have delicious cuisines.
Okay. Now tell me something about what is conflict of interest.
So conflict of interest happens when a person's professional as well as and personal commitments conflict with each other. So when a person is, for instance, if I am heading a particular interview board, and if a person who I am acquainted with comes to for the interview, then I might have a conflict of interest, as I might not be the best person to judge him or her, as in my personal and professional capabilities are coming in conflict with each other. So, in reality, various cases of in Supreme Court, we also see that Supreme Court judges recuse themselves from the cases where there are conflict of interest.
Any instance comes to your mind which was a glaring case of conflict of interest and
Sir,
has led to a lot of problem?
Sir, ex-Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi ji, there was a complaint, a harassment complaint, and he was also heading the bench who was hearing the complaint. So that was a potential conflict of interest.
Nice. You are talking about the food processing industry a little while ago.
Yes,
so it has been thought of and talked about for a very long time that our agriculture is suffering because we don't have a good food processing industry. Now, what is the reason that food processing industry has not been really able to come up?
Yes. Yes, sir. So there are many reasons for it. For instance, sir, if a food processing industry has to be set up, then good transport infrastructure should be available for that industry. Secondly, for establishing any industry, we need land acquisition, and there are many problems of land acquisition, especially in Uttar Pradesh, which we hear of. Thirdly, when industry like food processing is there, they are also aiming export orientedness, and government was not able to give various kind of incentives earlier. For instance, Haryana and Rajasthan government gave various incentives, and so industry was able to we were able to set up many industries there. So these were some of the reasons.
Okay. Now that you are a deputy collector, supposing tomorrow you also become a collector and you are posted at Rampur as a collector. So what will be your priorities as a collector of Rampur?
Sir, my first priority would be to ensure law and order in my area, as generally it is said that law and order is not very good in Uttar Pradesh. So I will ensure that law and order is ensured in my area. Secondly, I will, as I'm very passionate about the education sector, I will ensure that all the schemes of the government, such as midday meal schemes, quality of teaching, etc., are done in a very efficient manner. I will do frequent inspections, etc. So, in order to ensure that. So thirdly, as if current situation I am posted, then health infrastructure would also be a major area, because impending we have various reports that the third wave might come. So I will ensure that oxygen power plants are there, pediatric centers are being set up. These will be some of my priorities. And since this is a monsoon season, sir, I will ensure that various ponds and small water retaining structures are created under Manrega, so that water is being harvested in an efficient manner, and the problem of water logging is reduced.
Very nice. So we end your interview here, and we'll now start with the feedback session.
Thank you, sir.
Prakhar,
Yes, sir.
manner of delivery, the speed, the pitch, everything was perfect. I'm completely satisfied with the manner you handled the issues.
Thank
But
you.
one or two small observations I will make, because I want you to reach the perfection stage where you are satisfied that I've done my best, and then leave it to your fate, your destiny as to where it takes you. Okay. But otherwise, I'm completely satisfied. Let me make small observations, which will, if you consider them, maybe it will add value to what you've said. Number one, overseas citizens of India, that's a factual question. So I don't have to, I won't be saying much. You knew about it, but just the change, if somebody asks what is the change getting into the IFS or something, that change, what was done was, earlier when the passport was issued, every time it was reissued up to the after the age of 20, once after completion of age 50, it was because of the biological changes to the face, it had to be reissued. Now the change that has been made is the passport will only be issued once, okay, on completion of the age of 20. So that it doesn't have to get, every time you don't have to get it. And of course, as you rightly said, it's a multiple entry, lifelong it is permitting you multiple entries. But the only change is 20 to 50, that number one. Number two, on that planning commission, Prakhar, you gave the correct answer. Absolutely correct. Non-plan, plan, expenditure, revenue, capital. But what would add value to your manner of answering was, especially keeping in view the way you answered other questions, this I would have been happier if you had said that this was when the planning commission was there. But after the dismantling of the planning commission, so it gives a perspective. It just gives, it shows to the board that you are totally in control of the situations of the base, everything. So the planning commission 2016, when Niti Aayog came into the role, this is what it brought about, this change along with it. So that would give a proper, dimension. Third, Companies Act. There were so many things which happened, but you rightly said one of them you mentioned, that is good enough. But ideally, you could have, if you had mentioned 2 or 3 more. For instance, the CSR you mentioned, of course, but it also amended. Now the firms are required to disclose their investments in cryptocurrency. This is one change that has been brought about. Then second is a single person owned company can be formed now. So these are 2 or 3 important areas. So if you just mention 2 or 3, it will give an impression to the board that you know more than what is, you know everything about it. But don't go elaborating it. Just mention 1 point, 2 point, 3 points, like that. So that if the board wishes, they will ask you, Prakhar, can you please elaborate on this point? What has it done to the CSR? So then you can elaborate. Otherwise, if you go on prolonging one, then they will probably cut you short, saying, "Okay, now go to the next question." So, although you know more about it, you cannot spell it out before the board. So that is last one. In the deputy collector, see, you gave away good points. You will digitize. You will files will get recorded in a more scientific manner. But add your knowledge of electrical engineering, not exactly electrical engineering, but the scientific temperament that you have absorbed and which has brought you here. and the scientific temperament that you have developed over the years, that you will utilize to the optimum use as a deputy collector. That defines so many things, not one thing, but the scientific temperament defines so many aspects of governance. So you add what you've written and what is there in the draft before the board, you will also spell it out. So it looks as if it is totally integrated and synergized in the manner that you have portrayed yourself in the draft. That word should be used. Okay, that is my suggestion. Otherwise, Prakhar, there is nothing more to add. You're doing so well. You will come out with flying colors. All the best, Prakhar.
Thank you, sir.
So, Prakhar, I fully agree with Rai sir. It was a fantastic interview, and your manner of delivery and everything was perfect. So you stand a very good chance to be in the final list. Just a few things I would add, which will only improve your performance. First thing is, while answering one of the questions of Chairman sir, you for a moment switched over to Hindi.
Yes, sir, because leader, I wanted to.
It's okay, but some of the persons in the board may not be able to understand. Okay, so if you could have avoided
Yes.
that part, or you have to be careful about it.
Okay.
When you are using such an expression, you have to be careful that if at all you have used, you may either explain it also for the benefit of those who are not Hindi speaking. Okay, and regarding that answers, most of the questions you answered perfectly, no problems in that. 1-2 things which were missing, actually it should not bother you, but still, since I asked those questions, I just add to your regarding that UPI thing. The thing unique about it is that you don't have to divulge your account number.
Okay.
You have a UPI identification, which does not tell anything about your account number.
Yes.
So that is the thing unique about UPI. And regarding, I asked you 2 questions. First, I asked you what are the problems of Rampur. Then I switched over to other questions. Then again, I came back and I said, if you have made a collector of Rampur. Actually, the 2 questions were connected.
Oh.
Okay. So when you were answering the question of if I made a collector, what will be my priorities? Now the things that you mentioned as problems of Rampur, they did not find a place in your answer.
Okay,
yes. So that part you have to take care. This kind of a situation may happen in actual interview also.
Yes.
And then regarding that, why the food processing industry is not picking up or not becoming very successful. Why don't we have a food processing industry everywhere, in every district, to take care of whatever is the surplus there? Problem is, all the things you mentioned, they were correct. But main thing, if any industry has to depend on, is the assured supply of raw material. And they are not able to ensure that. Government tried to address this problem in some way in these farm laws by introducing contract farming. But there is so much of opposition, you can already see. That's why the food processing industry, supposing somebody builds a plant at a huge cost somewhere to use tomatoes which are being thrown up to make ketchup and distribute. And suddenly he finds that tomato is not there. They are not giving me. So there is a problem. So they are not assured of the continued supply of their raw material. And then, of course, there has to be a market, there has to be export orientation, everything has to be there. And rest of the things, it was perfect. On these things also, your answers were correct, What I said was only to supplement your answer.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Thank you. So now Chairman Saab will give his views.
Okay, before I give my views, do you have any questions of us?
Sir, as my selection in deputy collector was, the result was announced after DAF 2. So it is not mentioned in DAF. So should I mention it in introduction or not?
No, no.
Because I don't know various intricacies as my training has
No.
also not
Let
started.
it be. Let it be. If they ask you what have you been doing or any such thing, then you may mention it. But there's no need to volunteer that information. That will only complicate the things. Okay, don't bother about it. Kyun bhai?
I think he can send
sir.
an email. He can send an email that I have been given this post after filling up of my tab 2. That will
Sir,
be
my
helpful.
suggestion is that if he is asked to introduce himself to the board, as you have done, sir, you normally do, then he has to mention. But otherwise, आपने सही बिल्कुल कहा कि he should not volunteer going out of his way to say that if he's asked to introduce himself, he will say that this is the last position that I have been and this is my current status. ये तो
You can say that post my और जैसा अरविंद साहब कह रहे हैं, अरविंद जी कह रहे हैं, अगर भेजना चाहे तो भेज भी दो, कोई हर्ज नहीं है. बट होता क्या है अरविंद जी, फिर वो it will go into, you know, how the bureaucracy works.
I don't know about that, but what I feel is tomorrow nobody should say that you concealed the information.
अरविंद साहब, हम ये कह रहे हैं कि यूपीएससी के उसमें डैश में बहुत क्लियर है कि आपको no additional information will be now accepted by them. That is one. The other thing is that it will not find its way to the आप जैसे समझ रहे हैं वहां पर जाएगा नहीं वो finally. तो unnecessary एक वो होगा. But he can always say that if he is asked to introduce you, he should certainly volunteer and say that this is the position I have been offered. Nothing to do at the moment.
And this happened after you had submitted your DAF. So, or any other question?
Sir, was I looking nervous or was I able to communicate the ideas?
No, nothing of the sort. आप final day को सूट पहन रहे हैं, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
और दाढ़ी बना रहे हैं,
Yes, sir.
shaving.
Yes, sir.
वो कर लीजिएगा और जरा बाल ठीक कर लीजिएगा, बाल आपके आगे आ रहे थे.
रामपुर स्टाइल में सर, रामपुर स्टाइल में.
नहीं, so you are fine, absolutely. वो सब I had posed that question to you about leadership. The first thing, even when you join as deputy collector after your training, let us hope that the situation does not arise and you are selected in the civil services. But wherever you join, whether it is in income tax, whether it is in police, whether it is in IAS, the first thing is that unless you know your job very well, inside out of your job, you will never make a good leader, right? So the first thing is you should say that I'll first learn all the intricacies of my job. Secondly, I will lead by example. That is very important, of course, that I will set good examples. A simple thing like, you know, civil servants का होता है कि they get invited to all kinds of places और बड़े वो खुशी सब जगह चले जाते हैं. That kind of thing should not happen. So you will maintain a very discreet profile. You will observe all office norms, regulations, and whatever you expect your subordinates to do, you will do yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, the rest of the things you mentioned, you should have a vision and file tracking वगैरह वो तो बात की बात है. Already file tracking system वगैरह ज़्यादातर जगहों पर आ चुकी है. So this is nothing novel about file tracking. So what you should say as a leadership quality is that first I will learn the job, then I will lead by example. I'll work hard. I will supervise. I'll go into details. if there are bona fide mistakes by my subordinates, I will take the responsibility. But if there is any malafide on the part of anybody, I will not spare that man. Things like that, okay? Rest of the thing you knew, but I just thought I'll mention this to you. So it should be very clear. Leadership qualities you may be asked. What are leadership qualities and so on. और पूछिए और कोई बात?
Sir, what kind of personality
बहुत
am I
अच्छी
projecting?
personality है.
Like, because I am a young.
No. You are young and you are very impressive. You have a good personality. There's nothing wanting in you. You just stay on course. पढ़ाई कीजिए, जो अपने नॉलेज को ब्रश अप करते रहिए. इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन, डोमेस्टिक अफेयर्स, ओलंपिक्स पर सवाल हो सकते हैं काफी सारे. आपने बैडमिंटन अपना शौक मेंशन किया है. बैडमिंटन के बारे में सवाल हो सकते हैं और कि कैसे और बैडमिंटन को प्रोत्साहित किया जाए. मतलब सिर्फ एक हैदराबादी सेंटर रह जाएगा कि और जगह भी हम सेंटर बना सकते हैं, इत्यादि इत्यादि. एक समय में यूपी में काफी होता था जब तक वो क्या नाम है बच्चे का, वो मोदी was murdered.
Modi was murdered.
पता नहीं what was his first name.
Amit Modi, I think he was Amit Modi, and his wife was.
Anyhow, so there was a time when UP was also a prominent center of badminton. So macro level पर what can be done to improve sports culture, what all can be done. So ये सब बातें सोच रखिएगा, ठीक है ना?
Yes.
All the best to you. We wish you all the best. May God bless you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Bye.
Okay, Prakhar, all the best. Thank you.
Sir.